Welcome friends, welcome back to the kitchen. Today we're going to do another one of the little cakes for two. Because sometimes you only need just a little cake. You don't want a whole giant cake calling to you from the kitchen and tempting you to go and eat it all. So we're going to make a tiny little apple cake today. In this bowl I have some flour. To that I'm going to mix in salt and baking powder. And I'll just give that a little bit of a stir. And in this bowl, we're going to deal with all of the other ingredients. So I've got brown and white sugar, a mix of both. I've got some butter that I've melted. In that goes. Then I have ground clove, cinnamon. This is allspice. We're going to put in 1 egg. And I melted the butter. I have a whole bunch of these little 2-person cake recipes, and sometimes I melt the butter and sometimes I don't. And the reason is I probably should melt it all the time. And the reason for melting the butter is that in this small quantity, it's just easier to mix it all together if the butter is melted. I find that if you're trying to cream a very small amount of butter and a very small amount of sugar together, it just doesn't work because there's not much for the beater to work with. So melting it works really well. And it's also the kind of cake where if you don't want to use butter, you could use a liquid oil, a liquid at room temperature oil. So I'm going to put in a little bit of vanilla, and I'm just going to whip this up with a hand beater. Now this is half of an apple that I have diced really finely. In the instructions, I'll probably say that you should grate it on a box grater and grate the apple. What you want is very small pieces of apple. Grating it is probably the way to go. I just didn't want to get the grater dirty this afternoon. So I had the knife out and I sliced it up. So that's about half of an apple. And I've got the other half here that I'm going to lay artfully on top when we bake it. So we'll just beat in that apple. And then spoon in the flour. Okay, now I have a 6-inch cake pan that I have greased and put a parchment disc in the bottom. And we'll just get this cake batter out into the pan. Smush that into the pan. And lay some apple slices around the top. And into a preheated oven.
Hey, that's a good looking cake, Glen. Hey, friends.
Little apple cake. Let's
I like apple cake. Get some forks. I missed my cue. Get some forks.
So it's springtime, and we've got light blasting through the window. Okay.
I'm in. That looks all like spice cakey like.
Apple and spice. Should be nice and moist.
Did you put apples inside too? Well, that really added to the moisture. That's nice.
So I diced the apples up like fine dice. But like I said, shred them on a box grater. And
That's why I was suspicious because I didn't have any texture.
Yep, no, they're really in there, like really tight.
I'm making a mess. Got the apple bit.
Oh.
I know. Fingers in.
Okay, so excellent little cake for two. You can make those into muffin pans. and have a few little muffins, maybe like 6 little muffins.
That would probably work for a little muffin.
Yeah.
Yep.
Excellent little cake. I would give this a try. Thanks for stopping by. See you again soon.